Why does he have only one temple in the entire universe and nobody preaches him? There's Satya, Dwapar, Treta and Kali. Kali ka yug. Kali. The last youngest asur. Kalki. Vishnu ka last avatar. When Shiva comes to know about this, he comes and he carries our body and he does tandav. When he does tandav, realms are moving, shaking, destroying. So Vishnu comes and he takes his Sudarshan chakra and cuts her body into parts. 108 parts which are called the Shakti Peeths today.
Welcome to another episode of Baba Ki Balcony. I have my very close Baba Ki colony wasis. I'm joined by my darlings Kanika and PD. Also, we have a surprise for y'all. We have ALFAZGI joining us today as we talk about mythology. More importantly, y'all must have heard of tales and lores while growing up. But this is not that. This is something very deep as we dive into whatever you thought growing up is going to be untrue.
Fact checks.
Yo, welcome, Baba. So, before we get into the rabbit hole of our ancient history, cultures, and things,
जैसे भगवान वगैरह वाली vibes, you know.
मतलब मैं जानना चाहता हूँ.
आपको क्या लगता है? अभी like copying beer biceps at this point. So, just. No, I like you. What's up,
how
bro?
if you just
Come
like
over.
ancient heroes and epics and legends and dragons and
Ancient aliens.
Ancient aliens.
So,
Magical myths rather than folklores and tales. They sound a little boring.
Nice.
नहीं कर रहे हम. We're going to be talking about Illuminati.
I like that too.
So we have अपना ALFAZGI, aka mythology expert. I want to give the mic off to her and want her to introduce herself. How did your love for mythology begin? Like बचपन में हम बोलते हैं ना कुछ tales कहानियाँ सुनी है, cartoons देखा है, कुछ देखा है. What was that spark?
See, no judgments, okay? I was a very healthy child.
Just you can say you were a fat kid, bro. Like it's fine to say.
Shut
I think
up.
that's you reclaiming
I
it.
was a very healthy, fluffy, 130 weighted child, okay? And my grandfather was someone who read a lot of mythology, knew a lot of shlokas and mantras, was very fluent in Sanskrit.
Mm-hmm.
So my first language which I really wanted to take up was Sanskrit. So I told dad that I want to do Sanskrit, and Sanskrit, he's like, Sanskrit करके क्या करेगी? Learn German, learn French, ज़माना तो उसका है. And I'm like, chuck it. I go to my grandfather and I'm like, मुझे संस्कृत पढ़ाओगे बाबूजी? And he's like, हाँ, तो एक काम कर, मैं तुझे 10 रुपए भी दूंगा. और that time like 1998, 10 rupees for me was wow, treasure.
Yeah, bro.
You got everything in 10 rupees for a week.
Wow.
Damn.
So he used to give me 10 rupees for a walk in the night with stories of the ancient myths, which till today I can execute in my day-to-day life.
What is the first story that you think of, like from the stories that your grandfather told you? Pehli kaun si hai? First that comes to your head. You have a favorite story,
yeah,
assuming,
so
right?
as I told you, I was a very inquisitive and a curious child. So for me, जब घर का मंदिर एंटर करते थे ना, तो ऐसा लगता था तुम कहाँ वंडर वर्ल्ड में आ गए हो, क्योंकि there were 150 frames and 89 idols.
Oh damn!
All different.
That's a really big mandir.
Yeah.
We
have a lot
of pretty, but like not 150, bro.
मंदिर लाना पड़ेगा.
So it was like, तुम कहाँ आ गए हो? So the thing is like and we went to, as being a Marwari, we had a lot of traditions and a huge family, joint family. So we all went together for a lot of temples and Krishna, Vishnu, this, that. So I used to look at Brahma and just wonder, why does this man as a creator have 4 heads?
Why does he have 4 heads?
Why does he sit on a lotus? Why is that lotus connected to the umbilical cord of Vishnu?
Why does he sit on the lotus?
Yeah. No, those are some really
and
fucking good
also
questions.
As a creator,
right?
why doesn't he have only, like, why does he have only one temple in the entire universe and nobody preaches him?
Also, I just found out yesterday there's one Brahma temple and I
Yeah.
heard it's in Rajasthan.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is in Pushkar. It
Pushkar,
is in
yeah.
Brahma. It's called
That's the
Brahmaputri,
only-
and that's the only temple.
Yeah.
And वहाँ भी आरती सिर्फ एक ही बार होती है पूरे दिन में.
Wow.
So he's like a
But
chill
बंद
god?
रहते हैं.
What's his vibe? Why is he like that?
He's a chill god.
Yeah, I just want to get
He's
to know
a
this
very
man.
chill god
a
who
creator,
loves.
right?
He's a creator who loves giving his children all his love, all his boons, everything. But he just doesn't think twice.
Oh, I'm
Oh.
sure there's a lot of drama that's been caused in like the mythology
So,
space because of it.
He is born out of Vishnu's umbilical. He's born out of Vishnu,
Okay.
but he's a creator. Okay.
So like,
Now-
is it like a sort of hen came or egg came कौन पहले आया वाला situation? Do we know what came first?
Because हम पहले creator की बात कर रहे हैं, right? अभी हम सिर्फ creator की बात कर रहे हैं, तो हम जानना चाहते हैं.
We will talk about where did the hen come first or where the egg
Yeah.
came first a little later.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, there's so many prominent gods, right? We still don't know, like हमें कुछ 30,000 gods बोलते हैं, like that, this many.
33,000
हाँ,
crore.
30
but you know,
How many is there, bro?
knowing Brahma as a creator, who are the prominent gods?
Second, that will be
Yeah.
the second story. First, let me complete the first Brahma's base to
Yeah.
you. So, Brahma was creating the first maiden, first ever woman in this universe.
Mm.
And at that very time, he was interrupted by the love god called Abhimanyu.
Okay.
Now, that god in future, when he matured, he was called as Kamdev,
Mm.
his wife Rati.
Mm.
But this is when he was very young. He asked for a Cupid's bow and arrow. And Brahma was like, okay, I'll give the Cupid's bow and arrow to you. But the only thing is, when you shoot the arrow, the opposite, the gender, the human, animal, anything of the opposite gender would fall in love with the opposite gender.
Okay.
So Abhimanyu is like, okay, now that you've given me this, what do I do? Who do I try it on first? So he tried the first arrow on Brahma itself.
Wow.
Brahma, who was creating that maiden and he was supposed to be the creator and the father, immediately fell in love with that
Ooh,
maiden.
scandal.
Now he wanted to
What are you doing,
possess her.
stepdad?
Guys.
I had to.
Well, it's not even stepdad, to be very true.
Yeah.
It's not. And when he immediately fell in love with her, he wanted to possess her. He wanted to have her for himself like a possession.
Okay.
Brahma.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Brahma.
Ah.
So she was terrified, petrified. She ran in 4 different directions: the south, the north, the east, and west. So he popped his head in all 4 directions to keep an eye on her, to possess her. But when she ran towards heaven, he had his 5th head that he popped. And Shiva was seeing that from his own kingdom.
Mhm.
Now, Shiva, he was not an Aghori or an
I'm sorry,
aesthetic
what's
at
an
that time.
Aghori?
सबसे पहले Shiva,
Hmm.
as a human being, वो छोड़ो. What is Shiva?
He was only a human.
Oh.
He was a demigod. He was not even God. He was someone who was doing his punya and taking his life, and he was a king. He had an avatar called Chandrasekhar. जो अवतार उन्होंने सिर्फ 2 बार ग्रहण किया अपने पूरी जिंदगी में. एक बार सती के शादी के टाइम और एक बार this time he had that avatar and he lived his life. He had his own praja and everything. But when he saw this happening, he understood that it's a sin. Can't be happening. So he went and chopped the 5th head of Brahma. When he went and chopped the 5th head of Brahma, he understood that he'd done a guilt. So
Oh, damn.
because he had chopped the head of the creator, he had got his position as the destroyer, who can destroy the creation itself.
You know, I haven't heard of this ever, bro.
Same here.
Yeah.
He restored himself
I didn't know it was so
to
funny.
the
But it makes
Kailasha.
sense then.
Yeah.
That's why he's called
That's
the
why he
destroyer.
restored in guilt, because he done a sin. He gave himself the imprisonment of Kailasha and he took the vesh of an aesthetic and lived his life like
In a
that.
certain
and,
manner.
And he left the avatar of Chandrasekhar.
Oh.
So people say Shiva still
Whoa.
resides in Kailasha, right? That's his abode.
Yeah.
Yes, that's his abode.
And no one could ever claim Kailasha.
There's
There was only one Tibetan monk.
Tibetan monk
But he
who
never
yet
came
resides at Kailasha, and people have met him on the lower part of Kailasha till where they can go.
And they still believe that
Why
Shiva,
can't people climb?
they cannot.
They
It's
cannot
unclimbable.
climb. It's not climbable.
Even
Kailasha
if
is
it's
not.
not high.
Kailasha
Yo,
changes.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are sedimented rocks. They are rocks made on each other. One strong foot can
Yeah.
change anything. It's not climbable.
Oh, damn.
You
No one has
can't
ever
predict
gone up.
the route
The
or anything.
electromagnetic field are so strong there that you age 2 weeks in a day.
Bro, what? I don't know. I don't know if I
See,
believe
these
that.
are
No, it is.
theories,
Yeah.
but
They've
they
done
are
experiments.
pretty much experimented theories.
Yo, I think we need to do like major
Bro,
scientific
so-
experiments
bro,
there, bro.
so-
People
in-
have been doing it,
in
and
the
there's
World
no
War,
way they
So,
Germany actually came down
let
to
me
do that.
complete my story,
Yeah?
please.
Haha.
Sorry.
So Brahma goes to Vishnu, and he's like, "Now this has happened. Can you amend it somehow? Do something." So Vishnu says, "I can't do much, but now because you are the creator and you've created such beautiful beings and everything, I would make sure that you are preached once, and only in one place. Rest, it depends on your karmas." So in mythology, you are the creator or the destroyer. You are there only on your karma.
So,
Your karmas, your deeds state your position of where you are.
so even the gods are accountable, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
That's so interesting, right?
It's-
Because
They
Now
are
Krishna
very much
also,
accountable.
after Mahabharata, he was accountable for all his actions.
But
He
people
knew
are-
that he is playing games. or
isn't there
whatever.
like his Netflix show in which they do a like Aapki Adalat vibes, but for gods after Mahabharata? Have you
so-
seen it?
Yeah, but no.
Hey, what did that happen?
No.
Do you want to explain this though? Like people who watch, they misjudge mythology with history and facts, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But like
so you wanna
facts.
explain what is mythology?
So, I'll put mythology as basically, a study of myths and folklores. But if you go deeper and you really want to understand and you want to put it on a parallel guidance with science, then I would say scientists are the only ones who are actually, fantasized by fictions and all. So it's just a fiction for you, waiting to be discovered to known as fact.
Wow.
It's that basic.
It's fiction till you know it's fact. Yeah. Okay.
So if you believe, everything turns into a fact because if this is fact because I touch it. But when you feel something and you can't see or touch, you don't take it as fact
Yeah.
or matter.
Yeah.
But it does reside.
And especially
Yeah.
in today's time when everything is done by, geological checks, this, that, Ram Setu, for example,
Yeah.
nahi tha. So you believe only when it's proven.
It's proven.
Back in
Yeah,
the day,
but
it was
also
different.
it's a little more complex than that, right? Because you said something about rocks being alive. I wanted to touch upon that a little bit and how you said that it stops
So-
being alive once we get in contact with it.
Yeah,
and like I want to associate that with
discovered
something.
this in Istanbul.
Okay.
When I went to Cappadocia, there is a place called Fairy Chimneys.
Okay.
So now there is a very small mythology story that connects to Christianity.
Okay.
Now when Lucifer went against God
Okay.
and God banished him, he fell. But with him there were certain angels also that took Lucifer's side and they fell. But because they had not done a major sin like Lucifer fell, Lucifer and Lilith fell somewhere else. But these angels fell like rocks at Cappadocia, Istanbul. Now when you look at those rocks, you can look at them and say it's an angel because they have an halo, they have a wand, they have wings, and they are rocks. But now you can't.
The form of the rock, you can just see it.
Exactly, you can see
Wow.
it. You can see
Damn.
embroideries on the dress. That's how close you can see it. And every rock has been covered with a certain material.
Mm.
So the guy who was leading us was a proper archaeologist.
Okay.
Because I'm very curious, so whenever I go somewhere, I hire proper archaeologists. You can tell me proper details of normal guys that they miss
Mm.
or they don't know. So he told me that now this material is basically, it's a repaint, flourish kind of thing because rocks are alive. They are even alive when animals are around. They're even alive when animals, poop on them or anything like that. But as a human touches a rock, it dies because we have a heat yoni.
Damn.
Okay, and when we touch that heat yoni, it kills. It stops moving. It doesn't have life.
Yo, that's so
It's-
crazy, right? Because
And that is the only reason that in Indians we do a namaste. That is
Oh.
our heat generated and the heat that we are
so it's
giving.
like an internal kamehameha
Yes,
energy.
it's
I
the
like that.
heat. We are giving proper respect to somebody's positivity aura by just
Yeah.
getting
Does
heat.
that also connect to the chakras?
See, now everything connects to the chakras. And what you
Energies.
speak and what you hear, what you do, everything connects to the chakras. But they say that every human has one chakra which is way stronger than the other chakras.
Mm-hmm.
In your entire life, if you come to know which chakra is your
I know
strongest,
Yeah.
you would definitely know what is your superpower that you've been given.
What's yours?
Heart chakra.
So like you're an empath?
I'm an empath reader.
Bro, and I've physically
if
seen that.
I-
Like,
Yeah.
like
if I give you if you can give me consent to read you, I can read you. But the thing is that it does affect me in some way. If you are going through some trauma and that you don't know,
Oh damn.
but I read it, I will face that trauma for 4 days until I do a thing called core cutting,
Oh.
where I cut ties of everything.
Oh
that
yes,
I've
like
met.
somatic healing. It's that, right? Where you cut ties.
Yeah,
I've read about
I read
this. I've
people.
tried
I
this, yeah.
definitely pull out cards also for people. I do read people, but only when I feel okay that person really needs it, or I
Oh.
want to know more about that person.
Okay.
how did this come to being? Like, how did you discover this? Or like,
I don't know. It just came. Where I started feeling emotions, sitting
Yeah.
I'm just sitting in a crowd and I can feel emotions, crying, happy, this, that, and trying to figure out are those my emotions or I
somebody
feel
else's.
then there's somebody else's emotions.
Damn.
So I started going and speaking to people. If I felt somebody sad, I literally went and spoke to them. Are you sad? Is it this?
Isn't it
And I
draining
started
though?
getting stupid visions, which I thought were very stupid, but they talk about people. When I can see the childhood just come up like a vision. I'm like, okay, you had this dress, okay, so, and they're like, okay, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
It's like, how do you know that, bro? Get out of my brain. Yeah, I get it. No, but then I'm assuming it's sort of draining also to have that, right? Because you'll have to sort of learn to practice it and control it a little bit.
So I'm doing that since I was 9 years old.
Damn. You knew it that early?
Yeah, my words help me.
Yeah,
I read
I mean,
a
I think
lot.
she's
I
a very
write a lot.
aware
So-
soul, if you would say that way. Things have come to her in a way that she
Yeah.
understood that this is my
See,
path.
I've gone through a lot of difficulties.
That way.
I would not say that I've not gone through difficulties, but I can say that difficulties were basically my parents towards what my boon could be. If I take them as a hardship or anything, it's basically penance only, right? But my manifestation of my life, how I want it. See, it's like I am an atheist to an agnostic to a believer to a mythologist.
Damn. It's quite a journey.
I have left the Lord's hand and said, you are useless. To a point where He's woken me up from my sleep, said, no, I'm there for you, no matter your words were harsh on me. I'm yet here.
Damn.
Just because you asked once. You had that one step to say that my life is in your hands.
So the surrender is
now-
what you're talking
Now
about.
I'll tell you the surrender thing. Mahabharata.
Right.
When you talk about Mahabharata, everybody had motives for Mahabharata to happen. Every single person there. But when I see Mahabharata is only Draupadi's revenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
For
everybody
me,
who
it is only Draupadi's
yeah,
revenge.
yeah, it was a dharam yudh, right?
Yeah.
And
But that Dharam Yudh. Now, have you heard about? Wait, before I finish this. So, जब उसका चीरहरण हो रहा था, that time she just looked above and she asked Krishna, तुम क्यों नहीं आ रहे हो? तुम मेरी मदद क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो? तो कृष्णा ने बोला, तुमने मुझे पुकारा कहाँ है? तुमने मुझे बोला कहाँ है कि कृष्णा आओ मेरी मदद करो? मुझे याद करने से क्या मैं तुम्हारी जिंदगी में आ जाऊंगा? And then she said कि मेरी जिंदगी मैं तुम्हारे हाथों में रखती हूँ. And वो खींचते गए और उसकी साड़ी ही नहीं खत्म हुई. So that's the only thing. You have to take that one step to call for him and say, come.
Ask for help, basically. Yeah.
If you do not do that, he's not going to just come and interfere and come on this. It doesn't work that way.
But what was Krishna's role, like the significance in our tales and epic, right? Some say Krishna was also avatar of Shiva. That's what I've heard from someone.
No,
I was like,
Vishnu.
no, that's not
Vishnu.
Vishnu.
Vishnu
Sorry.
avatar.
My bad. Vishnu's avatar.
Yes.
And he has come again, and he's gonna come again.
Yeah,
Right.
so now when we talk about again and again, I am assuming you're talking about Kali Yuga.
Yeah.
Now when we talk about Kali Yuga, okay. In this
so what
Kali-
are these yugs? Can you just give like a
There
brief
are 4
overview?
yugs.
Okay.
There is Satyug, Dwapar, Treta and Kali Yuga.
Okay.
Now every yug, now if you go way back to mythology scriptures, sab chhod do. When there were only souls and humans at that time, ये युग्स में ना अलग अलग Avenger, creator, destroyer.
Okay. That's the theme.
That's the theme. That's how it used to happen. And when we talk about Kali Yuga, we say, okay, we have technology, we have science, we have this. तो gods आएंगे तो पता चल जाएगा ये वो no. Kali Yuga, Kali का युग, Kali, the last, youngest asur.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Kalki, विष्णु का लास्ट अवतार जो कल्कि आएगा कली का युग खत्म करने ताकि सतयुग वापस आए.
So it's a cycle.
It's a cycle, it's a loop. So now I'll tell you the story. There was this king Aditya. He had two wives, Aditi and Diti. Aditi and Diti, अब उनके कर्म उनको उनकी जगह पे रखते हैं. Aditi's children were all demigods.
Okay.
Ditya's children, Ditya, Asur.
Okay.
So Asura is demigod, right? What does it mean?
Asur mean demons.
Demons, right?
Who
Demons,
stay in the underworld.
So these are like mythological creatures that are also present with us
You
humans.
can say dragons, creatures, or anything.
Dark energies or
The
something.
dark energies or
They have
vibes
different
or
forms.
forms. They are there yet present in today's era.
But
They are
the
there.
demons that, like, say we have in our mythology, the Asur.
I'll tell you. First, in the Satyug, these Asurs used to be outside, like in a parallel world. In Dwapar, they came and started staying with the humans like foes and friends. In Treta, they started becoming blood. In Kali Yuga, they are our emotions. They are inside us.
Oh, damn.
Wow, bro, and you're talking about
Flipped
like,
it on us. Okay, can you complete that story though? I really want to know what story, what this
So
was.
those demons are us. We have to, the yin yang, we have to decide.
Damn.
We all are dark.
So this is like a thing,
Yeah.
like
Yes,
about
this
this
is-
is the definition of the yugs.
Yes, this is the
Wow.
definition of the yuga.
See,
I did
even
not
all
know
your
this.
Now the
stories.
story is
Sorry, like,
that the last asur out of these yugs is Kali, who is born out of destruction and vengeance. So if you open the Vedas and you read stories or you just basic Google, Kali Yuga mein there'll be acid rains, there'll be fires, forest fires, there'll be plagues, there'll be people dying, there'll be a lot of pain and
suffering.
betrayal, suffering, grief, and that is because जो ये युग है is born out of that asur. Who is born out of
So this is also
grievance
in
and
parallel
asur.
universes everywhere.
Yes, everywhere.
It's not like it's happening here
No.
where we are.
So is there like a mention of parallel universe in mythology as
I
well?
was just gonna say this. Right now is the realm, the time of multiverses,
Yeah.
movies. Everything is so inspired by all that.
Yeah.
Where and how is it
Everything is
mentioned in
reality.
mythology?
Everything that was imagined is reality today.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. How can you imagine just a hybrid of a strawberry and an apple? Can you have a picture
Yeah.
in your head right now?
Yeah.
No. Can you have a picture in your head right now?
It's a
You can
concept.
think of a process and everything, but you can't have an exact picture. Can you all have a single same picture?
No,
of
no,
how
no.
it
form,
would be?
form
No,
is the
no.
same.
Yeah,
maybe,
like
yeah.
just a form.
Yeah.
You
You
can't
can
have
visualize
a,
it a little
you
bit.
cannot visualize it
Yeah.
until I show you something and then you're like, okay, I want it here, I want it there. How did mythology, how could you think about possibly what's today if you didn't even see it a little bit? Or it's not come down to you in genes?
I mean, you can't really 100% know.
I
Sure.
can 100% say it.
What do you mean?
Like everything, like when like my parents, okay, now the family thing, whatever traditions and everything that we have different gods and goddesses as faiths, but there's something, some genes that have come back today. When I talk about my great grand nana, at that time, he says कि हमने तो देखा है कि द्वारका था, द्वारका के पिलर थे.
Wow.
वो तो कहते हैं उन्हें दिखा है कि द्वारका के पिलर थे. अब वो पानी के अंदर है तो हम सोचते हैं कि पॉसिबल कैसे होगा कि ये पानी के अंदर है ये. But I can tell you the entire story कि ये क्यों हुआ.
And that
ये
also
द्वारका
has
क्यों
to
गई
connect with
अंदर. It
Atlantis
connects to
and
Mahabharata.
Mahabharata.
It connects to Mahabharata. It was Gandhari Shraap.
You wanna focus a little bit more on Mahabharata and what
Okay,
was
so-
that time the realm and कब था ये? What do you take it in timeline? कितने time पहले continent कैसा होता रहेगा? What do you think it was?
So now people say ना कि ऐसा ये कैसे हो सकता है. So yeah, at that time obviously there was no India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. It was all one land. Otherwise, how can you define Mohenjo-daro and Sindh civilization?
Yeah.
India, Pakistan.
Also,
दो अलग-अलग
do you
countries में
also
बनाया था.
think it was before the meteor strike how the today's scientific research says Himalaya ये ऐसा बना जब ये हुआ था
हाँ तो
things
युग
were-
चेंज हुआ ना. जब युग चेंज हुआ तो फिर the entire it deforms and forms again, and then there's a different thing
Yeah,
altogether.
like your natural calamities happening is
Yeah.
also forming and
calamities-
reforming the earth, right?
When COVID happened, humans need to heal themselves. The earth was in fact enjoying its own period.
Yeah. Animals were out.
Animals were
Yeah, I
out.
think it was the healing
everything.
period for them.
The cars, I mean, I
They
went to
literally died.
Sopenbag. I checked, there were cars around. All those cars were taken down by nature. There were
Okay.
creeps inside the cars and everything.
Like I
Nature
hear
works
you
its
guys,
course.
but apparently, like now this is something that I've read about on like articles and shit, and like on some left field thought processes. So ये जो हम चीज बोल रहे हैं, ये individual guilt towards the corruption of our current environment जो हमारा है, जो हमारे को बोलता है कि bro कितना अच्छा होगा, कोविड में सब अंदर थे, सारे जानवर वानवर बाहर आ गए और उनको जगह मिल गई and sort of healed and all, better impact on like global warming and all. It's the narrative controlled by companies that are
No, of course.
really
that's-
fucked
I've
up.
seen-
You
and they're
actually
ruining
saw the
environment.
difference,
I have
right?
seen the difference.
You're
I have
saying that
pets.
because you saw stuff like that,
No,
right?
I
Around
have
you
seen-
I could sit
Yeah,
here
like
and
on my
see peacocks
terrace I
every
went and
day.
I felt the air was fresher
Yeah.
and the clear sky
I
was
know
see
clear.
birds
what
everywhere.
I'm saying. I
So
I
many
have animals
things,
that I
yeah.
take care of on street dogs.
Yeah.
You know, no animals died in that 2 years. I've lost around 30 fucking babies on the road because of
The
these
cars
people who
and-
cars and
True that.
I didn't lose a single baby. One baby died on natural death. I was so happy.
Yeah.
Not a single thing. Not
So,
Yeah, well.
I want to share a story when you're talking about this. So one day I had a puja commencing for the house because 2 saal we didn't do a puja, right? Shanti puja karna tha ghar ka and all that. So the pandit smacked captain. So I got pissed off. I went to smack him. I went to hit him. And I'm like, तुम बात करते हो पंडित हो, तुमने ये सब पढ़ा है, जब तुम इसके साथ ऐसा व्यवहार नहीं करते, इसलिए कुत्ता कौन रखता है? मैंने कहा जब रामायण के टाइम पे हिरण के साथ लोग चिल मारते थे, शिकार करते थे, लोग रखते थे तब भी.
अरे कुत्ता तो अच्छा माना जाता है वो तो
वही.
इनफैक्ट
in Nepali,
Yeah.
we preach them.
Preach,
We
yeah.
have a festival
Kukur
is
puja, yeah.
Kukur Masi. We
Yeah.
have we preach
Yeah.
them where we put garlands and उनको टीका लगाते हैं and we preach them.
How was
ये कैसा
it
पंडित
back
था
in the
जो
day?
वैसे तो
Shady
it's
पंडित
पुण्य
था.
का काम to
Bro.
feed and
Yeah, so
shelter
it
He's
is
and all
like,
पुण्य
that.
कौन रखता है कुत्ता घर
So
में? I'm like, bro,
ये
क्यों
बोलते
बोल
हैं
रहे
ना कि 7:30 आ गई है, जिंदगी खराब हो गई है, तो obviously कुत्ते को ऐसे करो तो ये
Treat,
होगा.
हाँ.
शनि का वाहन होता है काला कुत्ता.
Exactly.
So I wanted to ask you this.
शनि तो भारी हो
Are
गई.
animals mentioned in
Yes.
mythology
Yes,
and they've
yes,
lived
yes.
with humans?
Yes, completely.
Absolutely.
कार्तिकेय का वाहन,
Yeah.
peacock.
Yeah.
Oh,
इंद्रा का
yeah, they
वाहन,
should ride
elephant.
those.
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Indra
it's
ka vahan
true.
is elephant. This what do you say? Hanuman itself is with Ram.
Yeah.
Squirrel is Lakshman.
But I've never heard dogs in
Dogs
our
is
scene.
Tortoise
Tortoise.
is
Shani is the dog.
Shani is
Shani
canine.
है ना?
Shani ka vahan is
Oh,
dog.
I don't know that.
Dog.
Oh, I
And
did not know
kala
that.
kala dog is Shani ka avatar.
Oh, wow.
Any black
Yeah,
dog
yeah.
is Shani ka avatar.
But are black cats not cool in Indian mythology?
Oh my god, that's superstition. No. So back in that day.
No, so some people, sort of try to backtrack it to
my-
mythology
My mama
also.
was very, very
There you go.
superstitious. Please do not. Okay, mythology is one pole, superstitions are one pole.
Absolutely, I understand
They
the
have
difference.
no connection. So black cats, back in the day, even if you Google this,
Hmm.
back in the day, there were no closed cars or everything, and there used to be dust all around. So a black cat's hair is the lightest and the most smallest, like tiniest. It can go inside your nasal system and cause you an entire blockage. That's the only reason say that when a cat is crossing, you do not cross. Wait for 5 minutes.
Then just transformed to being
Today,
unlucky.
there's nothing as that.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah, I mean, so
superstitions
many
have
other
come
things
from
have also
facts,
been
right?
transformed into stupid
Sometimes.
things.
Yeah.
Don't cut your nails in the night.
evening, yeah.
And there were no
Lights
lights
back then.
They
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
cut
yeah,
nails
yeah.
and candles.
So,
But like this Vahan conversation we were having, I made me think of the Raths and everything that we use around the Mahabharata also, right? There were people who asked Krishna to give the Rath na कि मार को रथ चाहिए, ये चाहिए, cavalry चाहिए वगैरह वगैरह.
No, that's a story. So, Krishna was sleeping
Okay.
and Arjun, Duryodhan goes. कृष्णा ने बोला था कि तुम दोनों आ जाना और मैं तुमको ऑप्शंस दे दूंगा कि तुमको क्या चाहिए in for the war, and then we'll decide about it. So first Duryodhan enters, but when Krishna was sleeping, Duryodhan he went and sat behind his head, not near the leg. And Arjun came second and he sat near the leg. So जब कृष्णा की आंखें खुली तो पहले अर्जुन को देखी. So he put a option to
Like he
Arjun
gave him the
कि-
first chance to
कि
pick.
तुम्हें मैं चाहिए हूँ या तुम्हें मेरा सुदर्शन चक्र और मेरी पूरी सेना चाहिए. So now दुर्योधन says कि मैं पहले आया हूँ. How could you do this? So it's like ठीक है तुम बता दो. So दुर्योधन says मुझे तो तुम्हारे सुदर्शन चक्र और सेना चाहिए. और अर्जुन से कि like तुम पहले बोल सकते हो कि तुम आए हो तो अर्जुन is like कृष्णा मुझे हर इसमें सिर्फ तुम ही चाहिए. Okay, so now this guy is very happy. Duryodhan, he goes to his father. Yay. Dhritarashtra, I got the entire thing. Dhritarashtra is like, you're a fool. जब कृष्णा ही नहीं तो उसकी सेना का क्या मतलब.
बिल्कुल.
छलिया तो कृष्णा है.
वही like when you're talking about mythology ना हम इतने aspects पे जा रहे हैं back and forth. मैं actually चाहता हूँ कि हम महाभारत या रामायण एक जगह पे बैठ के बात करें उस बारे में.
That's an extensive.
नहीं, because अभी क्या है हम अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं ना we are gaining so much knowledge that यहाँ से हम वहाँ जाते हैं यहाँ. But जो लोग देख रहे होंगे वो खुद confused होंगे अभी कि मतलब I think it's better we stick on something that we
But
are
it's
all
okay.
intrigued
It
by.
can be like a brief thing. And
Of
It
course,
can be like a
because I
brief
want to
thing.
do a lot of.
And then when जो भी देख रहे हैं they comment really well कि what do they want to
Yeah,
really
yeah,
see.
that's what.
Then
The
we can do another
topic,
session
yeah.
specifically on
Members
that.
only. Members.
only. वो चाहता नहीं है रात end हो और कैमरे में इतनी बड़ी बैटरी होती
I
है
was just going to say,
Solar
I
part.
just felt like we've just started.
Yeah.
We're warming up.
Bro,
We're not-
it's like a rabbit hole of knowledge. Like when I
Yeah.
sit with her, time just goes
I
like.
can't tell you the way I connected with her. Okay, so it was mythology
So हम एक
that
काम करते हैं हम सती के
connected
बारे
us.
में बात करते हैं आज.
Please.
हम सती और शिवा के बारे में बात करते हैं.
बिल्कुल. I think that'll be on point because people associate Shiva with just smoking up. Right now in this age of time, he's like a cult. You know, एक वो हो गया है कि bro Shiva, boom boom, बाबा भोले.
No man,
Like,
I mean, see now it's definitely everybody's perception, and yes, everybody does everything.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you definitely can smoke weed and say, oh, I liked it, Shiva. But definitely do not smoke your chillam and say Shiva tere liye. He never ever said smoke weed or marijuana. He smoked dhatura. So dhatura is basically उनको चढ़ाया भी जाता है, फूल जैसा होता है. It's green and light green in color. It's a poisonous plant and elephants get high over it.
And it's mostly found in the Kutch, Gujarat region also mostly.
Yeah, but I really didn't go check for it. I wanted to, but my dad warned me. So he's like, don't do things like
So
this.
shout out to Harshal Chada. I was talking to him.
yeah, he's
And
there.
He's there. He found a plant and he was talking about how it's dangerous, but your body gets used to taking small doses.
If you take small doses, but then that's in a long
run,
time.
and it's not for everyone.
Yeah,
It's like
Definitely.
that's the
fucks
thing
you
is
up.
that no drug is for anyone.
Yeah, that's true also. But abhi in this point of life, everyone's done little things, so they think, हाँ ये तो किया है, हो जाएगा. But that is something to stay away from. Most people.
So Sati.
Yeah.
So okay, there was Raja Daksh,
Okay.
and he had 28 daughters. 27 daughters were married to the moon, Chandra, and one daughter, she was also going to get married to the moon, but she was in love with Shiva. But Daksh never took Shiva really seriously. You know, for him, Shiva was just like an
Or
aesthetic.
nomad.
Stayed in Kailasha and cold, didn't do anything. What would he do for the daughter? She was a princess. So he was always against her. But she ran away with Shiva and got married.
Oh.
Sati. Dakshini. So she, when she got married to him, she stayed with Shiva until one day Narad Muni knocks the door. And he's just like, oh, why aren't you ready? You got the invitation? There's a yagna at your father's house. And she's telling Shiva, I want to go. And Shiva is like, you're not invited, you shouldn't go. And Narad Muni says, you don't need an invitation to go to your own father's house. So she fights with Shiva and she goes to the yagna. Now in the yagna, Daksh insults Shiva, ridicules him completely. And because she knows that fire, that Agni is very pious, वो उसमें जाके सती ले लेती है.
Oh.
When Shiva comes to know about this, he comes and he carries her body and he does tandav. When he does tandav, her limbs are moving, shaking, destroying. So Vishnu comes and he takes his Sudarshan chakra and cuts her body into parts. 108 parts, which are called the Shakti Peets today, where her different body parts fell. And when he cuts that, that's when things go normal. But he waits. Shiva does a penance for 75 years. When he's doing that penance, at that time, somewhere else, Parvati is born for Shiva. Then she does a penance to get him. When they get married, and then he takes an avatar of Chandrasekhar for her.
Wow.
And then he never took the avatar. He goes back to his aesthetic form because she says, I accept you the way you are.
So because of this, the cultural reference in mythology in current time, I still say before the Britishers came, I was still current. So Sati was still being performed, right?
Yes.
Because of this.
Yes. It's also like Mata Annapurna, when Shiva chopped the fifth head of Brahma. In Shiva's pictures, you see one skull and you wonder, why is this one skull? That's the fifth head of Brahma. He carried that around to get Bhiksha. But वो कभी full ही नहीं होता था until Mata Annapurna blessed it. That, now will be full, and she gave him a small idol of Sati. That's when he had come to know about Sati and then Parvati, and then they both did a penance to get into one. They are one. Ardheshwar, Adi Shakti. Incomplete without each other.
So that's crazy. And Shiva, we're talking about Shiva also. I've never
Again,
Shiva
that
has
also
19 avatars.
depicts your energies in you.
Yeah.
You said you were supposed to have masculine and feminine.
feminine.
So you're only whole when you're in touch with both sides.
Both sides.
It doesn't
That's
matter you're a
very
man or a
interesting,
woman.
right?
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't
what I
matter
want to
whether
ask
you're
you.
a man
Like
or
when you
a
see
woman.
Shiva in today's time and how he's depicted, he's blue. I want to ask these questions. Why was he blue? Why did he have a moon on him? Why was there a waterfall? And why the snake?
Okay. Let's start with the moon, as we are already in the story. So now, as Daksh's 27 daughters were married to Chandra, and he was like, he was just told one thing: you have to love them all equally. But he fell in love with one of his wives more. That was Rohini. So the other wives go to the father and they complain, and the father's actually just supposed to yell and scold, but the father curses Chandra that now after 7 days after this, you will be no more. Nothing to shine, no powers, nothing. So now the wives are like, what? No, we didn't want you to do this. So now what do we do? So the wives go to Shiva, विष्णु, कि मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ? तो he is like, मैं तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता हूँ, पर शिवा के पास चले जाओ. So now how to go to Shiva? So Chandra comes on land and he creates a ling, which is today Somnath, one of the Jyotirlings in Gujarat.
Oh, okay.
And he created a ling खुद के हाथों से, और वो लिंग से उन्होंने शिवा को प्रार्थना की कि आप प्लीज मेरी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करो. तो शिवा फिर बोलते हैं कि I cannot change the curse, but as you disappear, again after you will start coming whole as one. Then you will shine crazily on everybody, and then again you will go back to your bits.
Wow. And what?
And then he put a moon to tell everybody that my avatar was Chandrasekhar. So Chandra,
Because he has a half crescent moon on her
to
forehead.
tell him that he's a part of me.
And also,
Yeah.
why was he blue?
He was blue because जब अमृत मंथन हुआ था, तब शेषनाग had offered himself कि मैं गोवर्धन पर्वत पे आप मुझे मंथन जैसे यूज कर सकते हो मंथ करने के लिए. तो जब वो उसमें से जहर निकला था, अमृत भी निकला था, अब जहर जाए कहाँ? धरती पे तो नहीं भिगो सकते. So he drank it. But when he was about to drink it, at that very time Parvati touched this. And she is like, वो विष कभी नीचे ही नहीं जाएगा, वो आपके कंठ में रहेगा.
Neelkant Tavi.
वो आपके कंठ में रहेगा. So she blessed him with the kant.
And then he like tied like the snake on
Wow.
his neck to like stop it from going down.
Also, why the waterfall?
Though, okay,
That's
it's not a
Ganga.
waterfall.
That's Ganga.
That's Ganga. So जब our Hindu mythology starts with two people, Dushyant and Shakuntala. He was a king and she was a princess. She was not a princess. She was basically an aesthetic daughter. And so he came to hunt something, and he found her in the forest at this ashram, and he fell in love with her. So he gave her his ring, and he's like, I will come for you one day. And she got pregnant and everything, and she was just waiting for him to come, and he was on his way. At that time, one of the aesthetic comes, and he's talking to her, but she's in his thoughts. So he's talking to her, and she does not reply. So at that very time he curses her. तुम जिसके बारे में सोच रही हो ना, वो ये क्षण पे तुम्हारे बारे में भूल जाएगा. So now Dushyant forgets about her. One day she's like, fine, I'll go to his kingdom. So now she's on the way to the kingdom, and she's in the boat, and she puts her hand in the water. और जो अंगूठी दुष्यंत ने दी थी, when he curses her, her sisters go running to him कि she didn't mean to do that. She just thought, she told him the entire Durvasa, the only saint in the entire mythology known for his anger on his nose. So he cursed her, and these girls go, and then this is the entire story. Then Durvasa felt a little bad, so he's like, जब भी वो इंसान को जो इंसान ने वो दिया है वो दिखाओगे, उसको याद आ जाएगा. So now she's in the water, she's sailing, and वो अंगूठी गिर जाती है पानी में.
Damn.
And she reaches, and Dushyant just fails to recognize her, and he insults her. So now she's left everything. She's gone to the forest, and she's living with her kids. She's given birth to a child. And one day एक मछुआरा आता है, और वो मछली पकड़ता है, मछली खोता है, तो वो अंगूठी मिलती है. Now he thinks that it is, really looks royal, so he goes to the king with it. As Dushyant touches the ring, he remembers everything.
Wow.
So he goes in the forest, he finds her, he reconciles with her. That child is Bharat. Why also one of the things that I would love if India turns the name into Bharat.
Oh, okay, you like that thought?
Yes,
You're for
I like
it.
that thought.
Not
So that
feel.
Bharat.
Yeah.
Now he wanted to, flourish the land and everything. So he wanted water. So he tells Ganga Maiya कि Ganga Maiya, अब मैं penance करता हूँ, आप धरती पे आ जाओ. तो गंगा मैया says, वो तो हो नहीं सकता, मैं आई धरती पे तो पूरी धरती बह जाएगी. So Ganga takes Shiva as her brother. Ganga and Narmada both take Shiva as their brothers. So Shiva tells Ganga कि मैं एक मेरी जटा खोलता हूँ, तुम वो जटा से फ्लो करते हुए हिमालय के थ्रू तुम धरती पे आ जाओ. So that waterfall is Ganga through his jata coming down.
Like Gangotri and all.
That's crazy, because when you it's mental, bro. I think upon
but I thought they were married. I thought Ganga was married to Vishnu also.
No. Ganga was not married to Vishnu.
It's only Parvati then, right?
But it's crazy. We guys never.
No, like
dug
Sati was
deeper
married.
to
Yeah.
our
Parvati
roots and
is
what
not.
stories are.
But they're all avatars only of Parvati.
In the
So
end,
again,
they're born out
yeah.
of each other, or they're not born out of each other. You can say it in any way you want. It's like a 3D cube. You can either say there are 3 cubes, or you can just say it was 1 cube and it's 3D.
Damn.
It's that way.
Oh, like that.
It depends on your perception.
I like the entire stone thing that you said, and like the significance of how it becomes sort of alive when you touch it, because that's like a very Schrödinger's cat sort of quantum physics thing, right? Like the cat in the Schrödinger's cat in the box,
na?
na?
Needs like a scientific reasoning to everything.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
it's
just
been-
feel that a lot of people dismiss things because they're not scientific and don't take them seriously enough.
Well,
And I
actually,
like the similarity, right? I like seeing.
but everything is scientific.
Yeah.
It's just not proven at that very time, but
Exactly.
everything is scientific.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
Ram Setu was not proven for a very long time.
This calls for one shot.
So like,
So
like,
when they found that the
Dwarka-
stone is porous and it's not going to like sink,
yeah.
they
Exactly.
gave a sign. अरे ये पत्थर ऐसा है इसीलिए ये sink नहीं होता.
have
Yeah.
you
But
seen
they-
Ram
of course.
Setu? Have you seen
No,
Ram
I
Setu?
haven't.
I mean,
No, I've been to Sri Lanka, but I haven't.
yeah, but okay. Have you seen the movie Ram Setu?
Bro,
No.
I like the whole point, but the animation, everything was so bad now. It was so bad.
Leave the animation and everything aside. Only the theory that he said, that how did it come out to be Adam's land, how did it come out to be Ram Setu, and the entire theory which is depicted is quite right.
Even though, on that note, I even like Rudraksh. Honestly, like,
Have you watched Rudraksh? I fucking love it.
In the
Okay, now that
theater.
we're talking
Okay,
about
in the
Rudraksh,
theater. Because we went to
So
watch, I think,
want to ask the
Kohimili or
significance
something.
of Rudraksh also, like how,
Panchmukhi,
yeah.
the original.
Because people come to Nepal specifically to look for the Panchmukhi Rudraksh,
Yeah.
and it's expensive, and where it comes from, and the significance it has to
Yeah.
sadhus, sages, and people who wear it.
Panchmukhi Rudraksh एक्चुअली सिर्फ वही ओरिजिनल होता है एंड इट इज एक्चुअली अ सीड जो तुमको एक झाड़ के थ्रू मिलता है. वो झाड़ का नाम है बेलवा. अब वो बेलवा के पत्ते और बेलवा का झाड़, इट इज अ वेरी डिफरेंट स्टोरी. सो देयर वाज दिस पर्वत मंडावा. ओके, एंड ही यूज्ड टू बी लाइक, माते आप मेरे पे आके क्यों रेस्ट नहीं करती हो, तुम क्यों नहीं आती हो. एंड she used to be like, so one day Shiva goes there and she's like, माते तुम नहीं आई. तो he's like, मेरा आना उनका आना एक ही है. So when he put his sweat, तब वो बिलवा का झाड़ होगा. वो झाड़ के seeds and पत्ते चढ़ाते हैं.
Wow.
बेल पत जो बेलवा इज
हाँ.
बेल. ओके, क्योंकि वही पे पत्ते चढ़ते हैं शिव जी को.
Are you somebody that's who considers the religious connotation of mythology and the spiritual connotation of it, right? दोनों चीजें है ना?
हाँ, it's just 3D. I told you.
हाँ, so but
For me it's one.
right.
If you want me to state it differently, I can state it in 3 different words for you. But for me, it's just one. Because like I see a human, I see the aura with it. But
Interesting
if
you
you're
say
going to
that.
talk about spirituality, then
Yeah.
you're just going to see the aura, not the human. It is that.
That's crazy, man. Like, I never dug deeper into things like this.
So like I have
Yeah.
a favorite quote that is, nothing in this universe is lost. It's just enfolded like a piece of paper. You need the right eye and the right eyes to seek. So it's that. Maybe a painting for you is abstract. Maybe
Right.
it does not mean anything, but maybe you change
Yeah,
the
we're
angle.
talking about
it will
perceptions
really
again.
show you
Perception,
something. It is
yeah.
all perception. Everything is all
For sure.
perceptions.
But I think mythology plays a big impact on,
So
today's culture,
Not
things,
even
movies.
today, it's about human.
Yeah.
Everything in mythology
mythology
is about you as a
specifically
human,
talks about
your
the way of
purpose
life.
here, your understanding
And there's a
the way you're
storytelling and
supposed to
everything.
live here,
Yeah.
and what to be a nice human, and karmas. Everything
Yeah.
that they're talking about is relevant to you in today, whatever age, era you're living in. Whoever was alive, it is relevant back then. It's relevant today.
I feel it's never too late also to get back in exploring
It's just
more,
that
because it's-
awareness has not been there.
Yeah.
In today's generation, though, it's difficult. Like, I think our generation still had.
See, our generation saw
Families who-
tradition and technology.
Yeah, we are a
together.
mix where we saw no
Of course.
technology, and then we suddenly saw the boom
Yeah.
and everything. So
Yeah, and we got it at the very right time.
That's-
We're
I
growing
believe.
up, phones at the right time,
I thought my
TV
life was
right
perfect.
time,
Like, I saw
like perfect.
the
Yeah.
transition.
The times we were given also things right time. But today,
Yeah.
I mean, I see kids. Yeah, I remember playing with a yo-yo and then a Beyblade.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Beyblade playing with a Beyblade and then taking that Beyblade jiska hara. They play Beyblades on tabs. What, you're gonna take a tab?
Damn. That's true, man.
Yo, that sucks, bro.
Yeah.
What's the fun?
Beyblade was fun.
Back to mythology, right?
Don't start Beyblade, man. Don't start no Beyblade. I'll start about Dracula suddenly.
No,
But you know,
So okay, now
there's a
that we're
connection
talking
there.
about Beyblades, let's have a connection with Shakuni's gamble game.
Oh wow, okay,
Yes.
let's do that.
Interesting.
So, do you know why did Shakuni how did he have those dices?
He got them like custom made, right? They were cheating dices, right?
They were cheating dices, but the truth is, विष्णु की कोई हरकत के वजह से उसकी पूरे खानदान को ना एक they died in a forest fire. So
Oh.
those dices were made out of his father's bones.
Bones.
And so his
Whoa.
father's spirit was in that dice. So whenever his father had given him the dice, this is how you're going to get end to Vishnu. You're going to harm him some way. So he had a motive. That's why I said that in Mahabharata, everybody
So-
has their motive.
Motives, yeah.
But Shakuni was like a major player, right?
Shakuni was a
Yeah,
major
yeah.
player because Duryodhan was Kaan ka kacha. If Duryodhan would have gone to his father instead of Shakuni, none of this would happen.
दुर्योधन के भाई और कौन थे?
So 99 other brothers.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
100 brothers.
100
बहुत सारे
brothers.
थे bro.
Kauravas were 100,
Kauravas,
Pandavas were
yeah.
5 with one Karna,
Yudhishthir,
who he never
कौन थे? पांच?
considers.
पांच.
Okay.
Panch Pandava.
Nakul, Sahadev,
Sahdev,
Yudhishthir, Arjun, Bhim.
Bhim. That's crazy, man. 100 भाई थे.
So
Man.
So, okay, let's talk
Like
about
I had seen a
Mahabharata.
movie and there was this scene about Kauravas being born and they were like 99 wombs or I don't know.
Yes, yes.
Shell and it was like
Vovas.
a weird
They're called Vovas.
Vovas.
So,
So 99 are just hanging. So that's
we-
the Kauravas.
We don't think of test tube and stuff, but उस time भी था सा bro. I think like
Everything
could be
was
thing.
Yeah,
हाँ.
that technology.
या जो
conversation
ये
is something that
अवतार
always
बोलते हैं
intrigued
कि
me.
भगवान ने आके अवतार दिया तुम्हारे इतने
अवतार
बच्चे
तुम
हो जाएंगे.
सोचो ना यार, like सूर्य
थोड़ी
देव
पैदा
ने बोल
करते
दिया
हैं.
कुंती को कि तुमको ये बूंद दिया है.
हो जाएगा.
हाँ, कि तुमको बूंद दिया है कि तुम
What's in the
जो गॉड के बारे में सोचोगी उसका बच्चा हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
उन्होंने सूर्य के बारे में सोचा, कर्ण हो गया. तो
No, but like
You
even
see,
genetic modifications like
there is no genetic
no,
modification. There
I'm
is
talking
only
about
one.
like Ganesh ji,
हाँ.
for example, is
Yeah, that genetic modification, right?
No, that also has a backstory.
Yeah, I know. She created him, right?
Why
to
was he
protect
created?
him.
Why the
while she was
elephant
taking-
specifically?
Because वो उसकी जो mother होनी चाहिए child की needs to be turned away from the child, an animal child.
वो
That's
पीट करके सोनी चाहिए.
Hmm.
Where she does not give.
So like how
That
your
can
source
be
of
child.
all the mythological stuff initially also for you was a grandparent who told you. मेरे साथ भी same ही था. दादी नहीं bro, सोने के पहले दादी दादू
Yeah, yeah,
कहानी
yeah.
सुनाना. Very typical childhoods we've had.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah,
Can we
yeah,
just
yeah.
say?
Do you have a
Till
favorite
date,
story?
I think.
Yeah, right.
Do
Oh
you have a
my
favorite
god.
story?
I do have a few favorite stories,
One.
man.
Yeah, let's
My
go.
favorite one is like how Karan, when he was trying to win the Swamvar, I want to say, he shot backwards or something to hit the fish in the eye.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that, he used the reflection in the water to gauge the distance. And
That
use
is
some
not
like-
actually वो स्वयंवर नहीं, that was Karna.
Karan,
I don't know if it was a Swamvar or whatever.
That was their
अर्जुन ने मछली की
training.
आंख मारी थी.
हाँ, वही.
एक मिनट, वो कर्ण नहीं
Karan
था.
नहीं,
और
Arjun
वो-
है वो.
Oh, Arjun. Arjun ने Karan बोला?
हाँ.
Bro, these Karan and Arjuns, bro, they confuse me. Said it, you
अर्जुन
guys
ने
are
मछली
perfect
की
for
आंख
that
मारी
joke.
थी. Actually, it was a turning wheel जिसपे
Yeah,
मछली
bull.
थी. And then he saw.
Yeah.
And that was during their training period.
Yes.
Yeah, so I always like
This is
shown in
the-
anime,
this is
right?
during
So
the training period where he's ki, you know, I'm really good, and he's like, okay. तो
What is
तुम-
the ashram they went to? I'm not getting the name. Who was that Rishi? जिनके पास वो सब
I
गए.
was just actually thinking
About him? Yeah, I was just thinking about it and I couldn't recollect the name.
अच्छा ऋषि कपूर नहीं बोला.
I didn't know, bro. The
Anyway,
guy
continue.
Dronacharya trained them, right?
Yes, Dhroణ.
Yeah, Dronacharya.
Yes.
I don't know why
Dronacharya.
I know this so well. Somebody
Dro-
asked me this question
So
right now
Dronacharya
recently.
and
Keep
Eklavya
prepared.
was the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
Dronacharya and Eklavya was the same
Yeah,
time.
Eklavya, who was supposed to be better but then had to give a thumb.
Eklavya.
Eklavya.
Eklavya. Man, that sucks, right?
Yeah.
But
And then he learned
Now,
to like
like,
do it with his
I
fingers or
think
something.
they said that Karan was a better Shurveer than Arjun also, but he was
Yes,
just
yes.
preferred.
He was just preferred because he was not of this. He was the same bloodline.
Bloodline,
but he
royal
was
blood,
not
yeah.
the-
Yeah, or the
Blood.
blood, like
Yes.
the original or royal
The
blood or
father
whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
was-
wow.
I wanted to ask ALFAZGI this also, that are there similarities in our mythology and which are very close to other cultures?
Yeah. So if you say Greek,
Yeah.
you can say Zeus as Indra. They both have the lightning broke, and they are the gods of thunder.
Yeah.
Then you can take Poseidon as Varuna, the god of water, who gave way and a solution to Ram. कि अगर तुम यहाँ पे पत्थरों पे हर चीज पे राम लिख के एक ब्रिज बनाओगे तो मैं उनको डूबने नहीं दूंगा.
Wow.
And then you can take Zeus, Poseidon. You can take Hades as Kalki,
Okay.
the roop of Kalki, because you can't give him the roop of Shiva.
Mm-hmm.
He was an avenger. This one is a destroyer. You can take Hanuman as the Chinese, the monkey king.
Wukong, yeah, the Wukong.
Yes, they have a monkey god.
They do have a monkey
Yes.
god.
But it's
There are a lot of
completely
similarities.
Very,
yeah.
All are
very
Asian
much.
countries now, like Indonesia or
Indonesia
Indonesia
में
में
तो
तो
राम
Hinduism बहुत है.
रामायण-
वही मैं बोलने लगी थी कि रामायण या
Yeah.
राम की स्टोरी ही मानी जाती
Because
है.
Greek, India,
So
But
it's not
सबसे
just
best
India
ना,
that believes in this whole
इंडोनेशिया में
mythology.
सबसे बेस्ट है ना, उनके टेम्पल्स में ना जो आइडल्स बने हैं वो फ्रूट से बने हैं.
Oh.
what?
फ्रूट्स एंड फ्लावर्स से बने हैं.
Wow.
They're idols of garlands and everything, every clothes, and they have fruits and they have flowers. They don't have cloth.
I recently saw a video of people in Thailand celebrating Diwali. It was so nice to see. It was very different than us. Na, patake, मेरी लड़ी बड़ी है. It was really nice.
Very bloody badi hai.
This is Thailand before that. There's so many jokes I want to crack, but I'm not cracking right now.
should have
But it's
just
crazy.
come back. So
I know.
I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
forget their voices. Like they're
Okay.
ringing in my head still.
Oh, you went there
Really?
recently.
Oh God, do not do that.
Sorry.
We cannot be rude.
This is in my head because I
Yeah, I
saw Murki, DJ Naved ka ek video. It's damn funny. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I do that.
So yeah, like Greek in India.
I have a
Atlantis,
theory.
Dwarka, same gods, same
Egyptian.
cultures, Egyptians.
So, so like when we talk about Dwarka, specifically Dwarka, so in the very end, okay, now Duryodhan is left. You have to kill Duryodhan. So when जब द्रौपदी का चीरहरण हुआ था, at that time जब वो रुका था, तब उसने भीम को बोला था, मैं मेरे बाल तब तक नहीं धोऊंगी जब तक मैं दुर्योधन के खून से ना धो लूं.
Whoa.
Draupadi ne kaha.
Yes.
Whoa.
So in the end, when Bhim is gone to kill Duryodhan, at that time, one night prior, Gandhari, who was not blind, but she tried that patti
Yeah.
on her because only for her husband's equality and the thing that they got in the Samaj. She tells Duryodhan कि तुम मेरे सामने ना पूरे नंगे आना.
हाँ.
मेरी आंखों में इतना तेज है कि तुमको एक बार देखूंगी तो तुम्हारी पूरी बॉडी ये क्या बोलते हैं?
Scan.
ये क्या steel
Jump
become
jayega.
iron.
Yeah,
It
it
become
become
iron.
frozen or
You'll get the
Oh.
shield. You'll
Yeah,
get an
shield.
shield. So when he's going to her, he meets Krishna on the way.
So like a Medusa
And
power.
Krishna
Listen to
tells
this.
him that no matter what, she is your mother. You have to hide.
you can't be
something
like
and-
completely naked is
Yeah.
what he meant.
So
He's
he
like you
wears
gotta
a
cover
cloth
yourself.
on his
Like
part.
crotch area.
His
yeah.
entire thing. He wears a
Yeah.
cloth. And he goes to him. When Gandhari sees him, she tells him, "What have you done? And why have you done?" And that's when she says that Krishna told me to do this.
She
Next
understood.
Bhim, Krishna takes a twig in his hand. He's looking at Bhim and he snaps the twig to tell Bhim that this is the weaker part.
This is where
And
you
that's
need to
how
hit him.
Duryodhan snapped. That's how Bhim snapped Duryodhan. At that very time, Gandhari goes and tells Krishna, जैसे मेरी पूरे बच्चे प्रॉपर्टी और ये सब के लड़के मरे, तुम्हारा भी वही होगा. So when he has Dwarka and he has wives and children, they start fighting for property and everything, and he has to submerge Dwarka in water.
Destruction of.
Oh.
No, and that's what.
Yeah.
The same time I
But
think.
God
So,
or no God
Krishna
has to go
himself
through the
faced
karmic
his
cycle.
karmas for
Because every
Mahabharata.
religion had a water
That was
story
the whole
of
story.
drowning.
Yo,
Right?
even that Atlantis thing,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yes.
Atlantis is a city underwater. So based on like the stuff that you're saying, like you mentioned this before also, like I don't want to take credit for this thought, but like it's a very valid thought in
Yeah,
my
it
head
is.
also, that Atlantis, Dwarka, it's all the same epic told in different ways,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, the blood,
Yeah.
the water submerging story, and it's in every form.
Yeah, a giant
Okay,
flood and all.
Yeah.
This is to chal very this. You've heard about Noah's Ark.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
great flood. Yeah,
India
it was.
also. It's
I went to
China
a Catholic
also.
school. I know the
Now,
story.
if I tell you this, that we have the Noah's Ark in Hindu mythology.
Yes, I've read about
Can
it.
you tell me more about it? Like, what's the story?
The name was Manu.
Manu.
Shya means children.
Hmm.
We are called Manushya,
Manusha.
humans.
Manu's kids.
His kids, because he was the Noah. He made an ark. He took us, and we are in Kalyug because of him.
Same in China. There's another one from
Bro.
there. There's another one there. I think we have all forgotten. There's nothing kept, which states all this happened. Because things broke down.
Hmm.
Whoever survived spread here and there.
We have
It's
different
crazy.
colors. We have different body parts, everything. But in the end, we're humans, no?
Hmm.
The same thing, no? There can be different stories, different tales, different things. In the end, it's all about one thing.
People migrated here and there, no? After surviving, you had your kabila that's going here
I
to
mean, there
survive.
is this theory also, something technology, that if they do this, what you say, fingerprint scan. If they do the fingerprint scan, they come to know कि तुम्हारे ancestors से ancestors से ancestors कहाँ गए थे.
Saliva का भी है कि where
So
you
my
give a
my
saliva
friend, she
sample
did her
and they can
thing.
tell you
Practically, she's
Your-
from Delhi,
Oh, the
born in
DNA,
Delhi.
right?
Her
From
entire family is from Delhi. My friend.
ancestry.
But her grandmom stays in China. Bro.
Yeah, Neanderthal
Her blood
है,
is
ये
from
वो,
China.
वो।
Neanderthal तो मर गया ना bro, ऐसा मत कर. मेरे को सब confuse कर जा रहे हैं नए facts बता के. No, but like this has been insane, right? Like there was
It's a
so
lot to
much
take.
of a deep dive that we've taken. I think we've also gotten some like bits of new stories that you've told in like bite size that make great reels.
And we could have spoken for like 2, 3, 4 hours.
Yeah,
But
we should do this again.
We
Like,
have crossed our mark of 1 hour
yeah.
of the battery is dying. But I want this to not end. Like even if you're not in Pune, I would love if we could stick on a topic and talk about that. Like a
Yeah, we
just
can
video
we can
call.
We
ask-
can do
Yeah.
a Zoom call thing.
That'd be
no?
amazing.
Yeah.
Or we can just do a video
Even if
call.
y'all
and-
I think
watch, I would
that in
want to
fact
get
could be
viewers.
more interactive because
Yeah.
then there can be.
We-
You can be on one.
Do a live.
No, and then you
WhatsApp-
can have like
WhatsApp
videos
gives
and
us 8
references.
people in
Of
video
course,
call
we can
now.
take out
Yeah.
pages
But you
and
don't
such.
record it and all, na?
WhatsApp give us 8 people in video call now.
But man, it's an honor you were here, and I'm so grateful you know guided me to
See, I'll tell
mythology
you, it
again.
all works out. I mean, there's
We
no
all can-
plan. There was
Of
nothing
course.
on all of
Something
that.
like
So the
Manali
universe
also.
works out.
We
There are
can
ways.
definitely do something like this in Manali, and while I go to
Yeah,
Manali,
yeah.
I'll
Oh my
find the
God.
folklore of Manali by that time.
Damn.
Also, I want to, before we leave, if people are interested to get into mythology, are there some books, some scriptures, anything that you think could
Yeah,
help people to get into
recommendation.
it?
Yeah, top
Like
10
a-
recommends.
A
You
book or
should
two.
you can go to basic crossword, or you can check Kindle for it. The author is Devdutt Patnaik.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You can
I
check
reckon.
for books like Shiva to Shankara, Myth to Mithya, Decoding Mythology, Eden, Jaya, Sita, Karna, everything. Also,
Nice.
there are some unusual tales like
You can
The
show it to
Man from
camera
the
if you want
Egg.
to.
The Man from the Egg.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this.
Also, I wanted to ask
That
her
was
also
Garuda.
how mythology and
Oh.
honey and mead was made. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, shout out to me. Madhumay.
Let's go for it.
That's
Now
what it's
let's
called,
go for
Madhumay.
it.
Other way, but we can get a little glimpse of it.
Yeah, we can. What you want me to tell you about it now?
Oh,
No, we
story
put
one.
it in a
Reel.
reel and send it to
I
you.
don't think- I don't think-
Moonshine pay us.
Hey, fucking good one, Baba. I like this one.
है ना?
Yeah, अच्छी बात है कि हमने
अच्छी
आज.
बात है. And bro, we didn't like plan questions. Things
Yeah.
were so organic. I'm so
But
happy
like
you were here.
one thing I really enjoyed about learning so much about mythology was I love how scandalous our mythology also is.
Yeah.
Right? There's almost like the storytelling of it is so
I'll tell
efficient
you
and
one
honest.
quirky story. Indra, he got his manhood
We
suspended.
are back.
Why?
So
To be continued.
So yeah, if you want to hear about why his manhood got suspended,
Members only. Members only.
join members only. Please go follow apna Kranti Boy PD. Yes, he's the most krantiest guy I know. And please go follow my sis Kanika. She'll be always here. Also, please go do your mythological research and get in touch with ALFAZGI.
Yeah.
Mihika. She's always here if you wanna
Everything
get
in
into
the
it. Talk
bio.
to her if she wants to.
yeah, you can definitely message Sahil for it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll take the message.
Yeah, just drop comments. What you all want to know about
Yeah,
more?
actually, that's the
Yeah.
best way. Comment down. We can always make an
जो
episode for
चाहिए वो
you.
मिलेगा, bro.
And I'm so happy you all came down, man.
Of course, of course.
Baba ki colony wasiyo.
This has been amazing. Like
I've been waiting for it.
this hour has flown
मेरे को
by
पता
the
नहीं चला, bro.
fastest.
Bro, I think
Yeah.
I had the
Yeah.
most fun in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
podcast ever.
True.
Yeah.
Like
True.
no jokes, games aside,
Yeah,
all
fun
Yeah.
and
Knowledgeable.
something to
Yeah.
think about and
Jiva,
question.
Jiva.
Yeah.
that.
Very
पहली बार
fun.
लगा मैं ज्ञानी नहीं हूँ.
मजा आया.
अच्छी
We
बात
get
है,
more
यार.
people on the thing.
Mythology के बारे में जितना पढ़ सके पूरी
कम
लाइफ
है,
पढ़
कम
it's
है.
like you don't know anything.
And I
You
think
just
we just
know the frisk of it. That's
Did
it.
1% of conversations that we
Yeah.
My mom keeps saying about this कि मैंने गीता इतनी बार पढ़ी है पर हर बार
अलग
एक नया
कुछ निकल
चीज
जाता है.
निकला है
I so
उसमें.
agree.
Whoa.
so it's not that तुम एक
हाँ.
बार पढ़ लेते हो तो हो गया. When you
I
read it the
so
next
agree.
time
True.
you'll have some other understanding.
I know my mom's gonna have fun watching
They
this
also
episode.
say that Gita is so relevant to you. Okay, you open a page. Maybe if you have a question or a problem going on in your life,
will
you
solve
find
it.
answers
Mhm.
in that one paragraph.
Yeah.
So they say that Hindu
It's-
mythology specifically now
That's
that
great.
because that's my major. So I would just say that it's a way of life. It does not tell you to preach anything. It does not tell you that you have
exactly.
to do something.
True.
If you don't do this, you will go to hell. No, it says
Yeah.
none of it. All it says, if you do this,
Actions have
Consequences.
basically,
Repercussions.
it's a
अच्छा करो,
lamppost
अच्छा
in a
मिलेगा.
dark night. It can show you the way, but you decide which is the tone you have to take.
Yeah,
Correct.
man.
So
And I think-
basically,
yeah.
moral of the story. मैं
Yeah.
फाइल बता दूं.
हाँ, बता दे bro.
देख moral of the
कर्म
story है.
करो, दरिया
कर्म
में
अच्छे
डालो.
करोगे तो अच्छा काम होएगा.
बिल्कुल.
तो इसलिए फॉलो करो, लाइक करो, कमेंट भी कर लो.
कमेंट भी कर लो.
अच्छा ही होएगा.
ये
bro.
सब जो तुमने किया है ये पुण्य में डाल दो.
और देखो लोगों को दिखाओ ये वीडियो. People who don't know, दिखाओ please. बढ़ाओ, फैलाओ.
और कोई क्वेश्चंस है तो हमको बताओ.
हाँ.
बिल्कुल कमेंट करो नीचे, शेयर, सब्सक्राइब. पीडी भाई अपने को खानिका को एंड मिहिका को प्लीज फॉलो करो फटफट से. तब तक टेक केयर गार्नियर, अपना ख्याल रखना because you're worth it.
Bye.